really wanted to get off to a good start. That was one of the things we talked about a lot. Coach LaFleur had the scout. And so he made the observation that this team is really hard to play from behind against because they're so efficient with their upperclassmen in the half-court sets, and they manage the clock very well. So so it was important to get out to a good start. And as you saw, they're not going anywhere. They've got 6 overtime games this year and won all of them, I believe. And very, very good team that beating them gives us a good win. So we've got to just put all our emphasis in playing against a team that's hot, scored 100 points. First time they've ever done that. Air Force has done that in conference on Wednesday, so we got to start shifting our gears to that one. So we'll take tonight and get some rest and enjoy the win, but we got to get right back after it tomorrow. My mom will be, well, thank you.
Marvin, you've faced this situation a bunch of times the past few games where other teams have made runs. You've responded, it seems like, every time. Do you think that was the real benefit today when Wyoming made the run at you?
Yeah, I think that's one of the obvious benefits is for your team to be tested. You know, when you play a game, I don't think at this time of year any blowout is going to give you real value unless that game is going to secure a conference championship for you, regular season. I think they need to continue to learn, to be educated, especially the young guys. They got to start playing the freshmen like sophomores like juniors, so on and so forth. So these types of games really help their experience. I thought we shared the ball really well the first half, and then I thought we got away from it. And so that's some great video and film to educate them on what playing for others does for you.
Marv, I guess continuing what you just touched on there, coming off the big emotional win against Reno, how big, and I get they're all big, but how big was this game considering that not wanting to come out flat and obviously not wanting to take a step back after that big win?
The significance of games is only relative to what you do the rest of the way, right? Because like right now, it's really big today because we move into third place or tied for third or fourth or whatever it is. I think we might be behind Fresno State now, so let's say fourth. But so that makes it big, right? But if we don't hold serve at home and maybe steal one or so on the road, then you know, how significant will it be? I don't know. I think that it's all comes back down to, did the team get better, right? Did we learn from it? Yeah, okay. If we did, and we're playing better basketball in March as a result of what actually occurred during the course of the game, then there's no question. There were some good lessons there.
You guys have been playing great basketball the last few games. Would you attribute that to that the guys are finally they're getting it a little bit more, or more attention to detail? And to say what Mark go on that point about being able to answer these runs, seems like maturity is a big factor too.
Yeah, I do think the younger guys are growing up. I do think that the experience is starting to show a little bit. I don't think we're paying attention to detail. I think we're playing a little harder, and I think we're playing with a little more passion, enthusiasm. But I don't know that we've really not even close to mastering the details of a defensive possession or offensive possession when it comes to setting the screen, setting your man up to be screened. We're working on a lot of those details now. Those are the things you need to win a tournament, and we're not there yet.
The team is 4-1 after inserting Tervel back into the starting lineup. Can you talk about what went into that decision and how it changed conference play for you guys?
Well, I just felt like, practice determines a lot of what happens, and Tervel had been doing a good job in practice, and then there was one game when we made the switch. Was it boys? No. What was the first game we did? Okay, and I thought from a matchup perspective, if it was a good time to do it. Chris is Clyburn is such a team player. He doesn't care whether he starts or doesn't start. That added into it, and the chemistry of the team added into making an easy decision for myself. I wasn't going to have locker room drama and that kind of thing. That's what happens when you recruit good kids. But Nunu has not played well since he started. He's started, and we've won, but it isn't because he started. Matter of fact, a couple of those games he didn't play well at all. But he's gaining valuable experience. And tonight helped us to throw that first punch because he started. So it's a process.
And I think we've already talked about of course, the emotions of these last 2 wins. But knowing that we've already beaten Air Force this season, how do you try to not have them play down to the competition, knowing that we already have?
Well, I think you got to just respect. If you respect the game, if you have the game of basketball, you never look down on an opponent, and you understand that anybody can beat you on any given night. We've lost games that we shouldn't have lost this year to teams that I think we were a better team. So I think we've already hopefully learned that lesson. This team scored 100 points. Air Force just scored 100, as I mentioned earlier today. First time they've ever done that in conference. So they're obviously trending up as well. So we got to be ready for them based on the fact that it's another opportunity for us to get better.
Is it Brandon and Shakur? Does look like they're really taking, not only producing for you, but taking leadership for you? Is that accurate to say?
No, I don't think so. I think they're good teammates, but I wouldn't call them leaders at this stage of their career. Shakur has moments. Brandon has moments. But we're kind of leading by committee right now. It's kind of, just depends on what's happening in shoot around, what's happening at the game. Certain guys say certain things that get guys going, So, yeah, I hope you weren't going to write about that and I spoiled your article.
Well, do you like having the leadership by committee then, or would you rather one or two guys sort of step in that regard?
I mean, as long as you're winning, it doesn't matter, right? You play the game to win the game. You play the game to get better, to grow the program. So I think it always helps to have some valuable leadership. Because why? Because when I'm not around, what's being said? It's like when you're recruiting a player. If you're recruiting a kid and the head coach really likes you or the assistant coach really likes you and you're not around and that kid's talking about his choices and you've got somebody saying positive things, then you have a better chance of securing that commitment. Well, it's the same thing as securing a win. If the kids are hearing the right things when we're not around, then you have a better chance of winning games. Put that down as another great analogy. Thank you. I'm doing a highlight film at the end of the year. Put a resume together for speaking engagements.
Any other questions? No, we got another.
Anybody else? Oh, we got one more.
Just on Brandon McCoy, the last 4 games or so, we have seen so much more consistency of his play on the floor. What do you attribute that to? That, at the beginning of the Mountain West Conference, it seemed like he was not really in great shape. He was coming out a lot. In the last 4 games, it really seems like we have seen a lot more consistency.
Yeah, I don't know if it's conditioning as much as dealing with the conditions of being triple teamed and, adjusting to the defenses that he was seeing. And I think that his responses have been really good. So I would attribute his very recent success to his responses and his growth and maturity and understanding that, he's learning. He's a freshman, so he's learning too, just like Nunu and Mbake and Mari, all of them.
Anything
Okay?
else?
Thanks, guys.
The first question is about, it can go to either one of you guys. The first question is about Tervel. Can you guys talk about a change, if any at all, in his mentality going from rotation player to a starter?
You want to go? Well, we call him Nunu. So Nunu's just a great player, a great person. And, I feel like he's approached the game like he did off the bench, just coming in and just being aggressive and just, bouncing his body off of people, basically. But I feel like Nunu's just, he's a great player and he knows how to play the game. So that's why he makes it look so easy.
You guys have been in a lot of situations lately where you've responded well to opposing runs. Did that help you going into today's game when they made a run at you guys?
Yeah. I mean, basketball is just a game of runs, and Coach emphasized on it at halftime and in the huddles, saying we threw our greatest punch in the beginning, and it's about time that they came with a run and answered back, and they did. They did a great job, but we just stayed together, stayed positive, and got the job done.
Brandon, I'm curious, to the start of this game, great hot start that you guys had. Was this kind of a continuation for you guys after the emotional win at Reno, or was there like kind of a special emphasis not to come out flat after such an emotional win that you guys had?
I feel like it was a little bit of both. I feel like, you know, a lot of teams like St. John's are on the upward scale, but you got other teams like Duke on the downward scale, you know, in this late session of February. And I feel like Coach Menzies always tells us that, you know, we want to be upward in the last, you know. We want to keep going up. And I feel like we started to buy into what he's saying, and we know that if we keep building off of, you know, something like beating Reno, the sky's the limit for us, and we're just going to keep pushing.
Brandon, you've been on quite a roll at the free throw line. You going into the line with a lot of confidence right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you going to the line with a lot of confidence right now?
I've just been working on it. Like I said, we always in the gym. Me and Shakur for sure always in the gym, and you know, free throws are a big emphasis. That's free money. I'm mad I missed them last two. I don't know what I was thinking, but you know, we just been in the gym basically. I don't know about confidence. It's just I know I can do it. I just got to keep working at it.
Shakur, from about the under 12 timeout on, it seemed like the defensive intensity from you guys picked up to where you were draining the shot clock down. Can you talk about maybe there was a concerted effort to pick it up at that point on?
Well, I mean, I got pride in my team and our defense. When we play great defense, we do good jobs. We force turnovers, force shot clocks. That last time, I closed out real well. He went off the drive. Bakke switched over. I picked up his man. And it's just like everybody was just rotating properly, and just it startled them. And then I don't think they knew it was like winding down, but the man caught it at the top and shot it, and it was a shot clock. So I just applaud my team and the coaches for helping us out and putting us in that position.
Shakur, when Wyoming comes all the way back and they take a lead, you know, early in the second half, what's going on with your team, with your guys? What are you guys talking about? Is there any, you know, panic, or are you trying to push each other, or what's going on with you guys? We're just staying positive and staying, you know, trusting the process, as Coach always say. Just because they take the lead and come back, and even if they was up 10, as long as we stay together and just flat out play defense and trusted one another, then we could just come back and just make anything happen, and that's what happened. Also, you did the push-ups on the court after one play when you guys are going back to the timeout. What's the reason for doing the push-ups?
I airballed the free throw, and that was the first time. That was the first time I airballed a free throw since high school. So I had to airball it. I had to do push-ups. I might do some more when I leave, but I had to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have told my punishment, I'd have slapped him.
Oh man.
It's either push-ups or getting slapped.
Man, we need to ask y'all some questions.
Yeah. Ask y'all.